Good morning and welcome to 10 Years Hence. Today's speaker is Jean Sweeney of 3M Corporation. Ms. Sweeney is Vice President of Environmental Health and Safety Operations at 3M. She is a graduate of Montana State University with a BA in Chemical Engineering and an MBA from the University of St. Thomas. Jean joined 3M following graduation from MSU and has had a wide range of assignments with 3M, including product development, manufacturing management, and general business management. She has had 2 international assignments, including manufacturing director for 3M Australia in Sydney and managing director of 3M Taiwan in Taipei. Her speech this morning will focus on sustainability from a corporate point of view. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Jean Sweeney.
Thank you. Good morning, and thank you everyone for being here. It's my pleasure to be here. It's quite an honor to be here, actually, and to be able to talk about the company that I hold very dear, a 3M company, and to tell you about what we've been doing in our record for sustainability, what we've been doing in the past, what we're doing today, and what we're going to be planning to be doing in the future. Now, my first stop here, I want to ask you a question. How many of you can raise your hand and know that you use a 3M product? Okay, anyone who hasn't raised your hand, does that tell me that you've never used a Post-it note? Post-it notes are 3M products. How about Scotch Magic Tape? You know what Scotch Magic Tape is. Who's used Scotch Tape? Oh, come on. Everybody's used Scotch tape sometime in your life. Even as a kid, you tape your face together. Right? Okay, well, I'm going to talk about 3M and talk about our sustainability progress and what we're doing. So give you an idea of what we're going to talk about. I'll talk a little bit about an overview of the corporation. We'll talk about what is sustainability, and you probably have had some other speakers that have already been here and defined sustainability in different ways, but I'll help you understand how at 3M we're defining sustainability. Talk about our history of protecting the environment, life cycle management, climate change, and our corporate social responsibility. So it's my intention today to speak broadly about sustainability. Any one of the concepts I will cover can be explored in much greater detail than I will be covering. I hope to give you a view of the broad range of issues that any corporation, particularly one with large manufacturing, has to deal with in tackling sustainability. It's also my intent to show you how this changing world of sustainability affects you and everyone around you in both your personal lives and your professional lives, no matter what you choose your profession to be. It's a multidisciplinary problem requiring multidisciplinary solutions. I'd like you to be thinking about any questions that you have as I go through the presentation, and I'll be reserving time at the end for discussion, so I hope that you have plenty of questions. So I'll begin with some background on 3M. 3M is a 107-year-old company founded in northern Minnesota, and first product was mining taconite from the ground to produce grinding wheels, to find abrasive products to produce grinding wheels. We've come a long way since then to be now a global multinational company. Our sales this past year at just a little over $25 billion. We have around 76,000 employees around the world, of which more than half of those employees are outside the United States. And 3M is one of 30 companies in the Dow Jones Industrial Average. 3M is truly a global company. More than 60% of our sales occur outside the United States. We strive to manufacture products as close as possible to where they are sold. 3M operates in 30 states and in more than 60 countries, including 37 international companies with manufacturing operations and 32 laboratories and technical support. 3M products are sold in nearly 200 countries around the world. Our sustainability programs and policies apply worldwide, regardless of location. Our work across the globe is divided into 6 businesses: consumer and office, electro and communications, display and graphics, healthcare, industrial and transportation, and safety and security and protection services. Any one of these businesses could be a standalone business of its own in the world, but all these businesses combined provide a tremendous advantage for 3M. The real strength of 3M comes from our technology platforms, which are shared across all the businesses. Any technology developed by one business can be used in the developing of products in another business. This is a competitive advantage that is unique to 3M. I'd like now to show you a video focusing on several different technology platforms and many ways that these technologies get used in a variety of product solutions. For example, look for the technology we call microreplication. You'll see this technology is used in paint protection film, in reflective sheeting for highway signs, abrasives, and a device to remove pet hair from furniture. Okay? Thank you. I think one of the most amazing things about 3M are the scientists and engineers that make a variety of technologies happen every day and make inventions every day. Many of our products are consumer products, and you would probably recognize several of these brand names, whether they be Command, NextCare, Scotchgard, Post-it, Scotch-Brite, Filtrete, and Scotch. They're all very familiar brands to you. But 3M has a unique technology that makes a variety of technologies happen every day and make inventions every day. Many of our products are consumer products, and you would probably recognize several of these brand names, whether they be Command, NextCare, Scotchgard, Post-it, Scotch-Brite, Filtrete, and Scotch. These brands, the characteristics of these brands reflect our corporate values, which are a foundation by which we run the company. These values reflect integrity, quality, attractive return for our investors, a respect for our social and physical environment, our value and development of our employees, and our reputation. 3M's commitment to sustainability is directly linked to our 6 fundamental corporate values. Each of these values are elements of sustainability, which include all of the above. These values have been around for many years and have shaped 3M's approach to sustainability. What is sustainability? Sustainability is a globally recognized framework developed by the United Nations Commission for Business to achieve environmental protection, social responsibility, and economic success. All 3 are interdependent and must be in balance for a company to be successful in the 21st century. 3M defines sustainability as meeting the needs of society today while respecting the ability of future generations to meet their needs. Corporate sustainability is becoming increasingly important to investors who see it as an indicator of the health of a corporation. The Dow Jones defines sustainability similarly to 3M. Dow Jones considers these 3 components as key elements to a company's sustainability strategy. And what you'll note here is it's not just about environmental. There's also aspects of corporate governance, risk and crisis management, human capital development, labor practices. Dow Jones Sustainability Index is a global ranking system for companies on sustainability practices worldwide. 3M is proud to have been listed as a part of the index since its inception in the early 2000s, and for being recognized as a gold class distinction in 2009, an honor recognizing the top sustainability performers on the index. Studies have shown that companies focused on sustainability outperform their peers by 15% or more in the marketplace. That's where the business case comes from, why sustainability is important to businesses like 3M. Common characteristics that go beyond just being environmentally friendly include a focus on long-term strategy, not just short-term results, strong corporate governance, and a sound risk management process. Sustainability is a lens through which corporations are being viewed today. Increasingly, our customers, our investors, and our employees, both existing and future, are asking to know more about our sustainability performance. According to a University of California study of more than 800 MBAs from 11 leading North America and European schools, a substantial number of MBAs are willing to forego some financial benefits to work for an organization with a better reputation for corporate social responsibility and ethics. Sustainability or being green is all over the news today. You can't go through the grocery store line without seeing it on a magazine cover or even on the placard on the bed in the hotel room when you check in. While it's extremely trendy, it's nothing new at 3M. Sustainability has been a part of our corporate fabric for many years. 3M began providing short-term and long-term disability coverage and pension plan for employees in the 1930s. The company instituted one of the nation's first company-paid unemployment insurance claims. 3M Foundation was established in 1953 as one of the early corporate charitable foundations of the United States. 3M's environmental and safety programs began in the 1960s. The first corporate environmental goals were established in 1990 with life cycle management introduced shortly after. While 3M has been an early adopter of many of the elements of corporate sustainability program, what we're best known for is our pioneering work to integrate environmental and business concerns. Dr. Joseph Ling, 3M's former Vice President of Environmental Engineering and Pollution Control, is recognized worldwide as the father of pollution prevention. He was one of the first, if not the first, individual to articulate the concept of pollution prevention, meaning not creating the pollution in the first place, rather than pollution control, which is controlling the pollution after you've made it. It seems commonplace to us today, but back in the 1970s, Dr. Ling's belief of pollution prevention was more environmentally effective, technically sound, and economical than conventional pollution controls were considered revolutionary. In 1976, Dr. Ling first presented his ideas at a conference sponsored by the United Nations. Shortly after, Dr. Ling was approached by the director of the United Nations Environmental Program to develop a booklet explaining these theories for distinction to UN member countries, and several countries such as the UK, France, Germany, and Sweden adopted these pollution prevention principles as a formal part of their environmental policies. Here in the U.S., Dr. Ling served as an advisor to 3 sitting U.S. presidents and the U.S. EPA. At 3M, Dr. Ling took his novel ideas one step further by integrating them into 3M business practices through the Pollution Prevention Pays program, which we call 3P. 3P seeks to eliminate pollution at the source through product reformulation, product modification, equipment redesign, and recycling and the reuse of waste materials. Today, 3P is a fundamental business strategy for 3M. In fact, in 2008, 3M prevented over 60,000 tons of first-year pollution and saved over $91 million through more than 600 projects. Process engineers in our manufacturing facilities are rated in their performance on their ability to save money and reduce waste as part of their job description. Anyone can have a pollution prevention pays idea and make it happen. One of the striking things about 3M's 3P results is that they only reflect the pollution prevented in the first year of the project. So as an example, one of the first 3P projects back in 1975 was the reformulation of Scotch Magic Tape from a solvent-based adhesive to a water-based adhesive. Magic Tape is still manufactured today using a water-based adhesive, but the pollution prevented from this transition was only counted in 1975. The savings continue today, and those savings add up significantly over time. A more recent 3P project was the redesign of the red dot resting electrode. Red dot electrodes are used in EKG applications in healthcare. So if you've ever been to the hospital and had an EKG or the doctor or done a stress test, these are the little pads that hook the electrode to your body. The redesign of the electrode reduced waste by reconfiguring the electrodes on the card, reducing silver and adhesive coating weight, and reducing the electrode size. The project prevented nearly 12 tons of waste in the first year of implementation and saved nearly $1 million. Projects like this one are crucial in helping 3M to reduce waste and our environmental footprint and save money. Waste minimization is 3M's most important strategy for our environmental footprint. Waste is mostly unused raw materials. The purchase of raw materials for manufacturing 3M products is a significant expense. So wasted raw materials is a financial as well as an environmental issue. 3M uses the hierarchy to direct its waste reduction efforts. In other words, we focus on prevention first and only recycle waste when we can't find a way to prevent or reuse waste, either within our own processes or as a raw material to be used in another process or product. As a result of these efforts, we have recycled or reused 24 times more waste than we treat or send to a landfill or to be burned for energy, and have achieved significant cost savings results. We're currently on track to meet our goal to reduce waste by 20% indexed to net sales from 2005 to 2010. Reducing energy is another key environmental priority for 3M. 3M's energy efficiency dates back to 1973 when a 3M Energy Management Department was formed. Improvement results from employee programs that increase energy efficiency of existing operations, new equipment and facilities designed to be energy efficient, and the development of new, more energy efficient 3M products and processes. Strong energy conservation strategies have helped us achieve an 80% improvement in energy efficiency in the United States since 1973. Reductions in energy use is also important from a manufacturing cost standpoint. During 2007, 3M implemented 187 energy projects and saved over $10.6 million from 2005 to 2010. This goal is on top of previous energy efforts. Energy efficiency is also an important part of 3M's greenhouse gas reduction strategy. What are greenhouse gases? I'm sure you know that greenhouse gases are the gases that accumulate in the atmosphere from the heat that do not allow the heat from the sun to be absorbed and dissipate, and so therefore creating a greenhouse effect on the earth. This chart shows the 6 Kyoto greenhouse gases. They are carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, hydrofluorocarbons, perfluorocarbons, and sulfur hexafluoride. All of these are considered to be the Kyoto greenhouse gases. CO2 accounts for 80% of total greenhouse gas emissions, 57% from fossil fuel use, which is primarily for generation of electricity, and 20% from deforestation and other activities. Methane, primarily from agriculture, is the next largest category of emissions at 14%. So who emits these gases? The answer may surprise you. You may be surprised to see that industry, other than energy production, makes up less than 20% of greenhouse gas emissions. Burning of fossil fuel to create electricity is the largest source of greenhouse gases. That is why energy management in buildings and industry is so important. The regulation of greenhouse gases is yet to come. There remains a great deal of uncertainty around what legislation and regulation may look like. And until this is determined, it can create a significant financial impact that will be felt by industry and consumers. Many of us are probably not aware of the depth of the impact to our daily lives that climate change can potentially have. Perhaps you've had other speakers talk on this topic. The greatest impact will most likely be felt by the poorer countries of the world due to food shortages and disease. All of this will create significant security risk to the developed countries of the world, including the U.S. With these risks and impacts come significant opportunities for technology to provide solutions to these problems. These are the opportunities for businesses like 3M. 3M has a comprehensive strategy to address climate change, beginning with our own activities and extending to policy engagement and solutions for our customers. Our greenhouse gas strategy includes measuring our inventory worldwide according to the Greenhouse Gas Protocol, which was developed by the World Resource Institute and the World Business Council for Sustainable Development. Our inventory includes sources from direct emissions of CO2 from stationary combustion of fossil fuel waste and solvents, indirect emissions of CO2 from the use of electricity and steam, direct emissions of methane from wastewater treatment, direct emissions of CO2 from 3M owned and leased mobile sources, and direct process-related emissions of other greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gas emissions reductions are a priority for 3M. Although climate change policy is evolving, 3M is taking voluntary, responsible action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions now. We have reduced our worldwide absolute greenhouse gas emissions by 62% from 1990 to 2007. In the U.S., we are partnering with the U.S. EPA through the Climate Leaders Program and have reduced our greenhouse gas emissions by 60% from 2002 to 2007, doubling our initial commitment to reduce by 30%. Our emission reduction goals include both the Kyoto and non-Kyoto gases and are being accomplished through manufacturing process improvements, pollution control equipment, and energy conservation. While we're reducing our greenhouse gas footprint, global greenhouse gas emissions are increasing. That increase is being driven by energy use. One of 3M's biggest opportunities to mitigate climate change is through our products. We're helping to reduce global energy use through our energy efficiency solutions for our customers. 3M has numerous products and technologies to help customers reduce their waste. Here's a number of different products. I'll talk separately about each one. Filtrete filters, or high-efficiency HVAC filters, that are used in commercial buildings, such as this one, to filter the air. The performance, they have excellent filtration performance, providing low pressure drop to help reduce fan energy consumption and high particle capture efficiency to improve indoor air quality. 3M window film. These window control films remove up to 99% of the sun's damaging X-rays, UV rays, and reject 78% of the sun's heat coming through the window. By reducing the heat coming through the window, you save on your energy costs. 3M mirror film is a channel to sunlight from rooftops. Significant amount of energy is used to light interiors of buildings. This helps reduce the need for artificial light, saving energy and reducing demand on aging infrastructure. 3M roofing granules, which is a breakthrough energy efficient granule technology. Based on 3M reflectivity tests, they are up to 3 times more reflective than comparable typical colored granules, which can keep your home cool with less energy consumption and lower energy cost. This is a key business opportunity for 3M as well as meeting societal needs. McKinsey recently reported $170 billion investment in energy efficiency from now until 2012 could have the growth in energy demand, which makes energy management a critical issue for future energy needs. 3M also developed many products for the energy industry that support the expansion of renewable energy. 3M provides several solutions for a renewable energy sector that makes generation more efficient and more cost-effective. In fact, in 2008, 3M launched a new business devoted to this market. As an example, 3M provides over 100 products to the wind industry alone. There are tremendous opportunities for 3M in the energy market. Within this market, renewable energy is a hot growth segment. One of the biggest challenges facing the production of renewable energy is the ability to move that energy from the source to the point of use. Large generators of wind and solar energy are not typically located where the wind and energy is being used. Our current national power grid is stressed to aging due to the demand. Improving our infrastructure to carry energy and store energy when the availability is greater than the demand is a tremendous opportunity for 3M technologies and products. Developing solutions for our customers is a key strategy. We rely on our lifecycle management program to drive our next generation of these customer solutions. Lifecycle management is an integral part of 3M product development process, placing a focus on our products throughout their entire life cycle, from manufacturing through customer use through disposal. In 2001, 3M adopted a new lifecycle management policy regarding all business units to conduct LCM analysis on all products on a prioritized basis. LCM has a formal part of 3M's new product introduction process worldwide. With hundreds of new products introduced each year, 3M has a continuous flow of opportunities to be evaluated. Cross-functional new product introduction teams use a lifecycle management matrix to systematically and holistically address the environmental, health, and safety opportunities and issues over each stage of a product's life cycle. We use sound science in the LCM process to understand and mitigate the negative impacts of our products and identify and drive the development of products with environmental advantages for 3M and our customer. Through lifecycle management, we identify solutions for a better environment. As an example, the development of Novak 1230, a firefighting fluid, is an excellent example of LCM at work. Novak 1230 was developed to replace halon containing firefighting fluids, which were being phased out by the Montreal Protocol due to their impact on the ozone layer. There were hidden trade-offs in the replacements on the market. The replacement chemistry lowered the impact on the ozone, but had high global warming potential and therefore major impact on climate change. 3M Novak 1230 was developed as a firefighting fluid with low global warming potential and does not deplete the ozone. Novak is typically used in applications such as data processing rooms or where there is highly sensitive equipment. It does not damage the equipment and allows a human life to survive if present in the room. Another way 3M engages on climate change is through our partnerships to advance climate change policy in the United States. We have joined the National Climate Coalition and the Environmental Defense Fund to establish these recommendations for climate regulation and legislation. We're committed to a partnership approach that includes government, business, environmental groups. We believe there will be a creation of opportunity to sell products for our customers to help them reduce their greenhouse gas emissions. We're also involved in these discussions today with EPA and other decision makers, and we're allowed to have a seat at the table in these discussions because of 3M's credibility. This credibility was earned by our historic proactive approach to environmental management and the results we've achieved. Each of these policies issues highlight that climate change is a multidisciplinary challenge. As you're beginning to see, sustainability as it relates to climate change has many aspects and issues. All of these will require a multidisciplinary approach from science, finance, legislation, regulation, business, academia, and so forth. It's certainly not possible for me to cover all of these issues. Any one of them could be the subject of a single presentation. I've chosen carbon offsets as an area to discuss further because it's something I think you may be hearing about in your daily life and an issue that businesses are challenged with today. Have you ever rented a car and been asked if you'd like to purchase a coupon to offset your emissions from your travel with a rental car? Have you ever been to a conference or attended an event that claims to be carbon neutral? When an individual or company purchases carbon offsets, the intention is to offset the carbon emissions from transportation or manufacturing by providing an investment in renewable energy, energy efficiency, or other greenhouse gas reduction projects. Typically, this is done when you or your company cannot reduce your own emissions due to high cost or unwillingness to stop the activity that creates the emissions, such as travel and transportation. If you're offered such an opportunity, there are some things you should be aware of or ask about. Here are several criteria for you to consider. Without verification that these criteria are being met, you may be donating your money into a black hole. Today, most of the offsets being offered provide the purchaser an opportunity to feel good, but it could be a short-lived sense of satisfaction if you're not sure of the facts about how your money is being used and being spent. As we see regulations around greenhouse gas increase, more of these offerings will become available. Investment of this type can expect a long-term return. For corporations like 3M, the money that might be invested in offsets such as these is money that could also be invested on internally developed projects with shorter payback that benefit the bottom line and make permanent reductions. Eventually, there will be protocols and guidelines to assure the purchaser of the validity of the offering. In the meantime, if you consider purchasing carbon offsets, take the time to assure yourself that the offering is truly valid and provides the gains to the environment that is being claimed. Another area to be aware of are claims on products and services about being green, otherwise known as greenwashing. The term is generally used when significantly more money or time has been spent advertising being green or environmentally friendly than spending resources on environmentally sound practices. This is often portrayed by changing the name or label of a product to give the feeling of nature. For example, putting an image of a forest on a bottle containing chemicals. Or as I recently saw in St. Paul, I saw a dry cleaning truck that was, all the graphics were grass and sky, and the label was a toxin-free dry cleaning. I'm not really sure I know what that means. But as an example, in the article, I reference an article here called The 6 Sins of Greenwashing. And in the article, we talk about 6 different ways to look at how claims are being made. First one I'd like to mention is hidden trade-offs. As an example, an energy-efficient electronic that contains hazardous materials is a trade-off. And for every claim that's been made about a product, there also may be something else that's not claimed. That could be a decision you have to make about something you're willing to accept or not willing to accept. There could be the sin of no proof. For instance, shampoo is complaining to be certified organic, but with no verifiable certification of being organic. There's claims of being eco-friendly, about vagueness, and that's probably the one you see the most of. Or, for instance, going into a supermarket and see claims on bottles or in product packaging that claim eco-friendly, or claim being good for the environment. But those are very vague. They don't really give you an understanding of how exactly they are good for the environment or what they can do for you. And you should be aware and wary of those. There's also irrelevance, such as products claiming to be CFC-free, even though CFCs were banned 20 years ago. They should be CFC-free. The sin of lesser of two evils, for instance, organic cigarettes. That's got to be a feel-good one there. Or environmentally friendly pesticides. There's a little disconnect there. And also about lying. Some of these claims are actually false. Products falsely claiming to be certified by internationally recognized standards like Ecologo, Energy Star, or Green Seal. Those are all certifications that are real, but there are products that claim to be certified by them that are not actually certified. Large retailers such as Walmart are now requesting to see verification from their suppliers of any certification claim on their products. They recognize that their reputation is at stake, in addition to the reputation of the suppliers like 3M. At 3M, we take the approach that no product is fully green. With so many claims being made in the global marketplace about the environmental benefits of various products, why should our customers believe 3M's criteria, the 3M's claims? First, 3M customers can be assured, based on our reputation for environmental innovation, that our products will deliver on the environmental benefits and promises that are claimed on our products. Since 1990, 3M environmental marketing claims policy has been provided an internal process to review and improve environmental statements and symbols associated with 3M products. The policy adheres to existing government guidelines and ISO standards and applies to all 3M businesses worldwide. The policy was created because at the time there were no regulation or monitoring of claims, and 3M needed a way to ensure its statements were accurate, transparent, and not misleading. The Environmental Claims Committee is responsible for implementation of 3M's environmental marketing claims policy. The committee is comprised of laboratory scientists, legal, life cycle management professionals, and others with environmental marketing business expertise. Here's some examples of approved environmental claims. Thinsulate insulation. Thinsulate is a non-woven fabric that is used inside of hats, coats, jackets, gloves, and boots to provide additional warmth and insulation for cold weather. And it is lightweight and contains the similar heat effect as down. We claim, though, that Thinsulate insulation contains 50% recycled polyester fibers made from post-consumer waste. And by saying post-consumer waste, that means that waste that has already been through a consumer, has been used in the marketplace, and is no longer being used. We take that into our manufacturing facility, process it, and make it part of our manufacturing process. So Thinsulate contains 50% recycled polyester fibers made from post-consumer waste. Here's another example of an environmental claim, and that's 100% recycled Post-it notes in a cabinet pack. This product is made with 100% recycled paper and contains a minimum of 30% post-consumer waste and recycled content. And all Post-it notes are recyclable. In fact, we'll have some of these don't leave without your pad of Post-it notes. We're going to pass them out at the end here. So these are also an example of reduced packaging. Typically, when you buy multiple pads of Post-it notes, each pad is individually wrapped in a plastic wrapper, and sometimes you've been challenged to get that wrapper open. Now we also sell, for those who prefer, what we call a cabinet pack. So it's reduced packaging. We no longer have the plastic wrap in this type of packaging, and it's in a recycled cardboard container, and you'll be able to just pull each pad out and not have to worry about the wrap. So it's reduced packaging. Walmart is a company that we work with who is really driving reduced packaging. If you can imagine of all the waste that goes through it, packaging waste that goes to a back end of a Walmart store, they've really made it a strong effort and part of their sustainability direction to reduce packaging with their suppliers. Another example that is a little more technical is the paint preparation system for automotive market. If you've ever worked on body car finishing and you've actually done painting, you'll know that there's a lot of wasted paint and solvent that is used to clean up the containers that are used in the paint process. And our system allows actually for, by eliminating the need for mixing cups and filters, reduces the need for cleaning solvents by as much as 70%, and there's also less wasted paint. So this means less solvent, lower VOC emissions, enabling automotive paint shops to maintain a cleaner working environment, reduce costs, and help to provide a safer and healthier environment for their employees. And essentially what it does is take what would normally be a metal can, is replace it with what you see as the plastic cup. But inside the plastic cup is actually a plastic liner that holds the paint itself. So when the sprayer job is finished, then you take it apart and only throw away the plastic bag inside, and so therefore you don't need the amount of solvents required to clean up the paint that is typically used. Here's another example of an environmental claim that has to do with a standard or a certification. This product is 3M Neutral Cleaner Concentrate, and this is the kind of concentrate that janitorial maintenance staff would use in a building to clean a building. And we use a recognized government or Green Seal standard, which is a certification that is globally recognized, and there's certain requirements that have to be met in order to be able to achieve this certification and have the label on the product. And so we go through that process to verify that, and this then can be used as an institutional cleaner with specific requirements for effects on human health and the environment. Our claim program helps to ensure that 3M has credibility around the statements we make. Without this credibility, we would lose the opportunity to sell products in emerging green markets such as the green building market. 3M offers hundreds of products that can help our customers achieve LEED building certification. LEED is an acronym that stands for Leadership in Environmental and Energy Design, and it's a certification process established by the U.S. Green Building Council. 3M products with environmental and energy claims that can contribute to points towards LEED certification include Nomad Super Scraper Mat. This is a mat you often see right by the door as you enter. Removes up to 72% more dirt and water than other traditional carpet matting, extending the life of floors and surfaces and reducing necessary cleaning. Adhesives. We've been developing water-based adhesives for more than 40 years, and our portfolio of high-performance products includes a wide variety of high solids, low VOC, and GreenGuard indoor air quality certified adhesives. Twist and Fill is a cleaning solutions that are formulated to be effective using cold water instead of hot water, which helps reduce energy use. To minimize packaging impacts on the environment, Twist and Fill uses concentrated formulas, packaging designed to reduce exposure to the product by the person using it, recyclable packaging, pump sprayers rather than aerosol, and products that are shipped in bulk. Dynoc architectural finishes can enable designers to earn points and credits towards obtaining LEED certification for specific projects by maintaining the existing stock of walls, doors, built-in goods, etc., by providing a covering that's actually a film that looks like a wood finish. So this provides low-emitting material reducing impact on indoor air quality. We've been talking about the intersection between environment and economics. One thing we haven't focused on as much is corporate citizenship, which is also very important. When we talked about this before, that mentioned that there are 3 legs to sustainability. So far, we've been looking primarily at 2 legs of sustainability, the economic success and the environmental protection. Let's look at social responsibility. Many of the products I have mentioned provide a social benefit, whether it be safety, security, or health. In addition, 3M also has strategy for what we do as a citizen of the world to respect our social environment. Let's look at the values we use to guide our social responsibilities. These social responsibilities are a part of our policy around corporate social responsibility, which include providing a healthy and safe workplace, supporting continuous learning, ensuring ethical operations or good business conduct, partnering with government and non-government organizations and communities to achieve sustainability, and supporting communities where we operate. These are the guiding principles for 3M's commitment to social responsibility, and they tie in very closely to our corporate values, which I mentioned earlier. This is an aspect of sustainability that most people are not aware is actually included as a part of sustainability. Partnerships are as important element in our corporate citizenship strategies as they were in our climate change strategies. For example, we partner with the U.S. EPA in a number of different programs. We have 22 of our U.S. manufacturing plants that are part of the Performance Track program, which means that they have good, sound environmental practices in their facilities. They have set goals for reduction of solvent emissions, and they have established in the land surrounding their manufacturing facilities, established an environment that's friendly for birds and wildlife and natural plant growth, native plant growth. We also are a member of Climate Leaders, which I mentioned before is where we've set our volunteer targets for greenhouse gas emission reduction. And we've been recognized by the Energy Star program for the past 5 years for our energy management programs. The Nature Conservancy. There's an important program that we've been a part of and donating significant amount of money to for a number of years. In fact, our former CEO was actually was on the board of directors of the Nature Conservancy some time ago. And we have donated money to a number of different projects across the world, including in Minnesota, Alabama, Texas, Brazil, Mexico, and China, are all primarily reforestation projects that we have contributed to. And these are places where we have countries or states where we have significant manufacturing operations. Another partner is the Harvard Medical School Center for Health and the Global Environment. Here we've provided funding to assist in creating climate change education at the middle school and high school level that is free to science teachers and they can access online to help educate their students about climate change. In addition, we also have corporate matching programs for donations of our employees, for whether it be for tsunami relief or support relief to hurricane victims. This corporate matching funds is a way to help engage employees and increase our employee donations for these different relief programs. We have many partner relationships that we are very proud of, and these are only a few. As illustrated by our employee donations to disaster relief over the past few years, 3M has passionate and caring employees around the world who love to volunteer. We have had relationship with the United Way as an employee deduction giving program. And just in 2008 alone, pledges from employees totaled nearly $5 million, and those donations were also matched by the corporation. As part of that, we also had nearly 12,000 hours of volunteer time by our employees with United Way agencies. The 3M Foundation provides a match. of $200 to qualifying U.S. nonprofit organizations that for the volunteers have spent 25 hours or more during the year in service. 3M's Science Training Encouragement Program since 1973 has provided mentors to coach students and summer employment for high school students. 3M Visiting Wizards gets kids excited about how science affects their lives with hands-on experiments conducted by 3M scientists in the classroom. Almost 500,000 students have been educated and entertained since 1985. We also contribute to the community through corporate giving. Giving is decentralized to allow the 3M subsidiaries around the world to customize giving to the needs of the region in which they operate. For instance, in Brazil, in 2007, 3M Brazil invested nearly $500,000 to the community through the programs of the Social Innovation Institute. The Institute's key objective is to improve the quality of life in communities where 3M Brazil operates through incentives for the development of projects such as reducing hunger and poverty. Sustainability isn't just about being green. All of this demonstrates 3M's commitment to sustainability. It has been rooted in our values for many years. In summary, we believe that meeting the sustainability challenges of today and tomorrow will require business, government, non-government organizations, academia, and communities to work together. We also believe that big problems mean big opportunities. Business opportunities for 3M customers and 3M products and technologies, societal opportunities, and career opportunities for people like you. For everyone must be part of the solution. Thank you. Okay, now I'd be happy to take any questions.
Gene, I'm interested in knowing we've read a lot and heard a lot about difficulties in supply chain management from Bellarmine in dog food and, any number of problems. To what extent is 3M able to enforce its values or push these ideas down on the suppliers and business partners? To what extent are you engaging them?
Can you hear the question? Maybe not way up at the back. The question had to do with around what 3M is doing with our supply chain. What do we do? How do we enforce in our values or get our values reflected in our work with our suppliers? What are our requirements of our suppliers, and how do we ensure that our supply chain is delivering on them the way we say it should? That's not exactly what you said. That's kind of how I got it. Okay. We have a supplier management process, as do most corporations. And in that process, when we initiate work with any kind of supplier, which we would refer to as an outsourced supplier, we're talking about suppliers who may provide an in-process good to us or may actually provide a finished good to us that then is sold with a 3M brand name on it. We have a set of principles that they are expected to achieve, and those reflect labor practices, fair labor practices. They reflect environment, health, and safety. They reflect financial practices. And all of those, we actually, before we begin receiving product or set up a relationship or a contract with the supplier, we will actually spend time auditing their facility and going through making sure that they can meet all those obligations. Now, for instance, in some cases, not all companies as an outsourced supplier are able to meet those obligations. For instance, we had an example in 3M Brazil where there was a company that was using child labor in making a product that potentially to make a product for 3M. And when we discovered that in the audit process, we made the point to them that that was not something that was acceptable to us, and either they changed that practice or we would discontinue our relationship with them. And that supplier actually made the decision that based on whatever reason they had, that they were not going to change that practice. So we discontinued that relationship with them. But that's the kind of thing that we do. We hold a very hard line on these things to make sure that our products do come from a reliable source that is treating employees well and that Now, we don't service any food items or anything like that, so a lot of what we're doing today is mostly hard goods, or items that you would buy, but still those items, even so, have to, before we receive them from our supplier and put them into our 3M distribution process, we will go through a certification process on all those products and make sure that it achieves all of the claims that we put on it and it has met our specification. If it doesn't meet our specification, we go back to the supplier, have a corrective action process that we go through. If they're not able to solve the problem, then as I said before, we would discontinue the relationship. So we have a constant auditing and monitoring process to make sure that over time, not only at the beginning of the relationship, but over time our products would continue to meet the specifications that we have set forth in our agreement with them. Okay? Any kind of question? Yes? You want to get the microphone, please?
You shared with us a rather impressive list of accomplishments by 3M over the last decade or so in climate change and other areas. What are one or two and the biggest challenges you see facing in 2010 and beyond for 3M and other corporations trying to improve their sustainability?
I think one of the big challenges facing us right now, because there's so much uncertainty around it, is how we're going to legislate and regulate greenhouse gases, because we don't know what that is going to look like. And from a planning perspective of a corporation, we know that that's going to cost us an investment of some kind. And we don't know yet what that will look like, because we already have made the investment in our manufacturing operations, as I pointed out, to reduce our greenhouse gases significantly. One of the things that we're hoping for in terms of regulation is that we get some credit for doing that, because many companies have waited to do anything with their greenhouse gas emission reduction until legislation comes around, because they know that that's going to cost them something. So they're waiting to do it, whereas we have already, over the past 5 years, had reduced over 60% of our greenhouse gas emissions. So the uncertainty around the legislation is certainly something that has us concerned, not knowing what kind of an impact that will be to our financial impact. So that's one side of it. But the other side of it is that we know that the legislation will affect other companies too, in which there'll be, as I pointed out, requirements for being able to reduce their environmental impact. So our ability to provide products and solutions to our customers to help them is our biggest opportunity. So the things coming in 2010, I would say, that are most important to us is looking at how renewable energy develops and how we can provide products and solutions to renewable energy to make it more cost effective, to make it more efficient. So all of this are potential opportunities for 3M. So I think this whole area that's developing now around energy management and energy conservation is quite yet to be seen of what the impact will be. But it also at the same time provides a tremendous opportunity for 3M. Okay? Other questions? So I have a question for you. I mentioned a study that makes the point about a study of MBAs who would consider foregoing some financial benefit by being able to work for a company that has a good environmental or social and environmental practices. I'd be interested if any one of you would like to make a comment about what that means to you and if that is important to you. Anybody want to volunteer? Yeah.
I'm an MBA. And,
wait. Get the microphone, please.
I'm an MBA, and in the present climate of a bust after a boom, I think when you look at companies that are implementing sustainable practices like 3M, there's a constancy. And for people in my class, we're looking at working at the same place for more than 3 years. And a company like 3M will be around. A company like IBM will be around. And these are companies that built sustainability into their business objectives. Mm-hmm. And companies that haven't might not be. So that's my take on it, at least.
Okay. So you're looking at it from a standpoint of a company with good sustainability practices probably going to be a company you can continue to be employed with on the long term, rather than having to change jobs frequently because of companies going under. Okay. Yeah, well, 3M certainly, I expect, we all do, that 3M is a company that being around for 107 years so far could easily be around for that much more again. We're constantly renewing and reinventing ourselves, and actually our greatest strength is in replacing our own products in the marketplace to stay on top of what's happening. But I appreciate knowing that, because we do hear anecdotally about students or potential employees that actually go to the Dow Jones Sustainability Index and see where companies fall on that index in order to assist in making their decision about whether or not they're going to go work for a company. And it's also interesting for me to hear you say that you'd be interested in working for a company more than 3 years. 3M is a company, too, where people tend to work for 3M for a career, which I have. I've been with the company over 30 years, and that's not unusual at 3M. I think it's unusual for a lot of companies, but not for 3M. So, and another great thing is a variety of things that a person can do in the company. With 6 or 7 different businesses, you can work in healthcare or renewable energy or projection systems all in one company, and have so much variety of things to be able to do. Okay, thank you. Other questions or comments? Oh, come on. I thought we'd get lots of questions.
To what extent do you engage foreign governments?
Oh, okay.
And I know you have relationships with business partners overseas, but you showed us a pretty impressive map of the global scope of 3M. To what extent are you engaging foreign governments in issues of the sort that we've talked about today, and what's their reaction?
Well, the question was around how we're engaging foreign governments in these types of issues around the world. With our operations in over 60 countries globally, that is something that is part of the responsibility of the managing director of a subsidiary. I was the managing director for 3M Taiwan for 3 years, and part of my job was to develop a relationship with the local government, with the country government, and wherever we had operations, and to understand what the public policy challenges were in that country, and to be able to work closely to have a positive relationship with governments. We certainly, through our public policy, public affairs, we identify the key issues that are important to us, that are part of changing legislation and policy in a country, and develop those relationships with the key people. Now, in most of our subsidiaries, the 99% of the people who work in that local company are nationals. So it's not that we have Americans all over the world running businesses. It's actually nationals that run those businesses. So those people know their government, they know their business challenges, and they know their customers very well, and are able to develop those close relationships. So we do identify the key issues for that country, because our operations in each country can have different issues. They're not the same everywhere. And also the priority of environmental or social can vary around the world too. For instance, I've given a couple examples about Brazil. In Brazil, environmental is certainly very key and important, but their social needs are even greater because of the number of people that they have below poverty level. So we get involved very closely with that. So that is, I mentioned, is a part of the managing director or president of that company's responsibility to have a relationship with the government and to have a positive relationship so that we can work together and be seen as a partner in that country. Okay? Okay? Just take the microphone up there. I can't see them all.
I'm an MSA student here, and in your presentation you discussed how consumers need to be somewhat wary of claims that companies are making with regard to, sustainability or being green for the environment. Mm-hmm. Does 3M have any kind of sustainability audit or anything like that that may appear in its annual report or a similar report?
I believe in our SEC report, our 10K, you'll see elements of that. Certainly part of our annual report. I'm trying to remember exactly what's in there. If part of the product labeling, it's always part of this. If part of the legal statement of a product labeling will define what the claim is and how it's supported. There's also, you go to our website. If you have a question about a particular product, you go to our website and you can find verification on our website, 3m.com, around a specific product and the claims that we're making, and places to contact for information if you want verification of that claim. That's also possible to achieve. We work very hard to be very open and transparent about our claims. And as I mentioned, we go through a very rigorous process to make sure that whatever we claim is something that we can be very open about and sharing information. So you can request and receive that information if you'd like to know more of how we've established that claim. Okay. Is the Friday the 13th effect?
Has 3M ever had to retract a claim? I saw a drug company last week being forced to run product advertisement correcting the public record. Have you ever found that you've made a claim that's unsustainable? I think that's probably been the case. I mean, of the millions of products that 3M's had in the market over the years, we probably have. I think I can remember one time there was a claim around a cleaning product that the claim was accurate when we established it, but at some point during the manufacturing process there was a failure against the claim, meaning that something in the process wasn't up to standard, and so product was delivered outside that claim. And so we had product recall. And that we have done that on occasion. It doesn't happen to 3M very often, but when it does, as soon as we recognize the problem, we take care of it immediately. So our claims are substantiated, verified, and we are constantly audited and checked against to make sure that we're still continuing to meet that claim. One more question?
Yeah, first of all, just in response to your question about what we're looking for in employers, I think looking at the company as a whole is important. But speaking for myself, what's also important to me is to look for a company where I feel like I can make a difference in these sustainability issues, that my role will allow me to contribute. Question I had for you, you talked a lot about how 3M had been improving its products to be more sustainable, and you gave a few examples. Can you talk a little bit about what 3M has done to make its, I guess, hundreds of manufacturing facilities worldwide more efficient?
Okay. Question around how we make our manufacturing facilities more efficient. That's rooted in our values also, but I mentioned I talked about Dr. Ling and the 3P program, Pollution Prevention Pays. That is the primary vehicle by which we make sure our manufacturing operations continue to continuously improve in efficiency, reducing waste, and reducing cost. Through that program where, like I mentioned, every single process engineer, and way back in the day I was once a process engineer, and on my performance appraisal was actually objectives about reducing waste by X amount on a particular process operation or saving Y amount of dollars on a particular process operation. So it's embedded into our performance objectives and what we expect. It's very clear that you're able to achieve those objectives, you have an opportunity to do more. So the first part of your question then, how do we make sure our manufacturing operations continue to be effective and reducing costs and waste? That's how we do it, by assigning it at the individual performance level. And so it's a leadership issue. It's very clear from leadership all the way down through everyone in the organization that continuous improvement is the way of life. We also use Six Sigma processes for identification of issues, and using the Six Sigma process to identify an issue, find a solution, and enact a solution. So that's a part of how a manufacturing operation runs every day. I mean, that's embedded into the value of a manufacturing operation. Speaking a little bit to making a difference, You know, it's always amazing to me when I get involved in some of the corporate awards that we have in our company, one of which I'm responsible, that's the Environment, Health, and Safety Award that we give out each year. And both individuals and teams can win this award. And it is phenomenal, the good work that scientists and engineers are doing in the company to create new ideas and come up with new ways of the products that I was talking about. So there's a lot of recognition for that, either as a team or an individual. And also there's awards for teams that are business awards for introducing new products and achieving certain levels of sales for new and innovative ways that include patents and innovative technology. So there are many different ways in which we recognize employees for the work that they do. We also have what I would call which we call a dual ladder for those who choose the technical road versus those who prefer to choose a managerial leadership kind of role in a managerial position. An engineer, for instance, when I started with the company, I was a process engineer. I did some product development work, and I was in the technical area for some time. So if I had chosen to, I could have stayed in the company and continued to advance on a technical level. At a level as high as I am now on a managerial level, I could have done that on the technical level. So there actually is what we call a dual ladder that allows people to achieve a fairly high level in both the technical area and in leadership level too. So that's unique. A lot of companies probably get to a point where as a technical person there's only so far you can go because the higher level positions are managerial. That's not true at 3M. We actually even have corporate scientists or scientists that have contributed significantly to 3M with technology, patents, products that have achieved very high level on the technical ladder too. So I think that there's a lot of ways that we recognize employees for the good work that they do, and it's not just by becoming a supervisor or manager. Individual contribution is extremely important.
Jane, on behalf of the students and faculty of the Mendoza College of Business, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have a good Friday.